Good morning. This is Diary of a Coach, episode 253. 253. Diary of a Coach. This my gray hair is not agreeing. It's beginning to multiply. Where are all the people that are beefing my gray hair when I never see you? Chai. See gray hair things. Well, good morning, guys. This is Diary of a Coach, episode 253. It's a privilege on this Tuesday morning to share with you Diary of a Coach. Don't forget, this is our week of praise giving. This is our week of praise giving. And some of the hindrances to giving praise is loneliness. Some people are unable to praise and thank God and thank life and thank themselves because some things have happened and they feel lonely. Some have lost their marriages, some have lost their spouses, some have lost their loved ones, some have lost their jobs, some have lost friends, some are sickly, some are isolated, some feel depressed. So many issues that makes you lock up and then you become lonely. This topic today, I give credit to Widad Akindaonsi for asking me, how does one treat loneliness? She specifically asked if I could talk about it on Diary of a Coach. So I'm answering this because I'm sure that as Widad is asking for someone, many more people will find answers to this episode. Loneliness means that even while you are among people, you feel out of place. Even though you are among people, you can feel out of place. Loneliness is a place where you feel needy about a particular kind of experience, a particular kind of comfort, a particular kind of relationship, a particular kind of companionship, a particular kind of togetherness, a particular kind of union. Loneliness is mental. It's a completely mental state. It is not a function of being around people. It's a function of wanting to fill a vacuum, a gap, and it's a mental state of being. Many of us, once in a while in our lifetimes, we have felt lonely. Sometimes you want a particular kind of comfort. You want to be cuddled. You want to be heard. You want to be appreciated. You want to be listened to. You want to be doted on. You want to be served. You want a sense of belonging. You want a sense of fellowship. So loneliness can be very crazy. Loneliness can be very difficult to handle. Loneliness can drive you to do untoward things. What are the things we're lonely about? We're lonely for companionship. We're lonely for encouragement. We are lonely for partnership. We are lonely for togetherness. We're lonely for sense of commonness. We're lonely for so many things. And like I said, it's a mental thing. So when you feel lonely, what can you do about it? One of the most significant parts of when you feel lonely is you need to create a distraction to break the loneliness. You need to create a distraction. Now, it takes a lot of willpower to break loneliness. I must confess, it takes a lot of willpower, that makes you break loneliness. But one thing that is sure is that if you can create a distraction, your loneliness can reduce. It may not be eliminated, but it will reduce. A typical example, I binge on TV most times when I'm distracted, when I'm lonely. When I feel lonely, I could just go to a particular channel that can take my mind off. So you'll find that I can go to a soccer channel and I'm just following the game, and it has a way of just taking me off that track. Or I could go to a very funny channel, like I can go to African Magic Yoruba, or I can go to a cartoon channel, or I go to my animal series, just for me to take my mind off that moment of loneliness. Okay, so someone will say, but I don't have DSTV, I don't have GoTV, or I don't even have light, I don't have a generating plant. So step out of your house, take a walk, take a stroll. Somehow find a distraction. If you've got a smartphone and you've got internet, go on YouTube, watch something inspiring. In fact, the truth is, go on YouTube and listen to some interesting conversation. It's very, very important. It's very, very important for you to see that you are able to distract your mind. Henry, well, alcohol looks like a distraction, but it's not a recommended distraction for loneliness. When you go binge on alcohol, what you're trying to do is you're suppressing the loneliness using an external influencer. When you use an external influencer like alcohol to suppress your loneliness, when it wears out, you'll be deeper in the loneliness. So alcohol, while it looks like an escape, it is actually not a recommended escape for you. And remember that there are also bodily consequences to huge or large intake of alcohol. You don't want to now create a physiological problem because you're trying to run away from loneliness. Alcohol, especially uncontrolled consumption of alcohol, can lead to liver issues, kidney issues, skin issues, and even more mental health issues. So it is very important for us to take note of that. So number one recommendation to treat loneliness is distraction. Create a healthy distraction, and it will help you. Number two, solutions to avoid loneliness is get yourself on a project. I found that one of the ways that I eliminate this loneliness in my life is that I create a lot of activities. I create new programs, I create new courses, I create new opportunities, so that you realize that I'm always trying to serve a market share. I'm always trying to serve a particular market segment. I'm always trying to serve a new set of people I'm paying attention to. So many times I get overwhelmed even providing therapy because I'm trying to escape my own loneliness. So you find that I'm involved in other people's work. I'm involved in providing service to people. Then somehow it's even difficult to feel lonely. So I find that loneliness is sometimes the result of idle time. Sometimes it's the result of idle time. You need to engage your time, even if it is momentary, so that you can reduce the tendencies that you can be lonely. It's very, very, these are escapes that we need to adapt, that can help us with loneliness. And then number three, forgive yourself. Because sometimes the truth is that we encourage and indulge loneliness because we feel guilty that we did something wrong that makes us lock up. We feel we have failed at something. We feel we are disappointed at something. We feel that we don't deserve good time. We feel that we need to punish ourselves. So we need to forgive ourselves. You need to forgive yourselves. You need to forgive yourself, and that way you can encourage yourself to start all over again. Encourage yourself to start all over again. It's very important. Whether says, but well, we want to connect. Well, the thing is, connection is not created. You don't create connections. That's one some of the misconceptions people have found themselves in. People say, I'm looking for who to connect with. I'm lonely. I'm looking for who to connect with. You don't look for who to connect with. You don't create a connection. You reveal a connection. Connections happen. The more you are around people meaningfully, the higher the chances that you will find a connection. But sometimes we want to go to parties, we want to go to social gatherings and still lock up in the social gathering. You can't get a connection like that. Connections are not created. Connections are not created. Connections are unraveled. We find it out. So if connection is your drive, if it's your motivation, if it's what you're looking for, you need to be around more people meaningfully, which means I want to connect with someone. When I go to a public gathering, I will drop my phone. I will intentionally relate with people. Intentionally. when we're eating on a buffet, we're on the buffet queue, where you go table after table, or just sit down and intentionally study people's behaviors and laugh and relate. You need to do that. So it's very important for you to know that you don't create connections. People say, I'm looking for who to connect with. Oh, I'm lonely. I wish someone can connect with me. We don't create connections. We unravel connections. We find connections. It's like Wi-Fi. You don't create Wi-Fi on your phone. You identify Wi-Fi and connect. So connection happens via availability. You need to make yourself available. Connection is an intentional thing. If you're switched off, there can't be connection. There can't be connection. So you need to make yourself available. You need to be intentional. But for you to be intentional and make yourself available, you need to go back to the things I talked about. 1, create a distraction from your loneliness. 2, forgive yourself. 3, get yourself doing things. Get busy doing something. So imagine that I am lonely and I'm looking for connection. I would intentionally volunteer at people's events or exhibitions or parties or programs, whatever. I will volunteer, make myself available to be of help. As I am being of help, someone will see me, attracted to me, may walk up to me and say, oh, hi, I noticed you've been so helpful here. What's your name? And I'm available for the connectivity. And out of 3, 4, 5 people that may walk up to you that day, one may just be the click. And then you find someone with whom you can interconnect and relate with. But the challenge is this. If I'm looking for connection and I'm out there trying to be available like Wi-Fi, the tendency that I will now overwhelm the person I connect with is very high. So I would naturally not encourage you to be looking for connection to kill loneliness. It's a dangerous path. You know why? When you now find the person you connected with, you are going to be on his or her case every morning, afternoon, night, morning, afternoon, night, morning, afternoon, night. But people are like, I beg, this one is going to choke me. The person go wrong. Then you are back to square one again. So while I know that connections are important, connections are relevant, connections they are healing, they are therapeutic and all that, please don't try to kill loneliness by looking for whom to connect with. Because when you find a person, you will send the person away. You will become so overwhelming. You will become so choking. You will become so... No, you don't need that. So solve your loneliness by yourself first. Develop the capacity to be self-sufficient in your own company. Develop the capacity to be self-sufficient in your thoughts, in your actions, in your company, in your aloneness. It is okay to be alone and not be lonely. But when you are lonely, you don't even have to be alone. Even among people, you will still be lonely. So alone is the goal. The fact I'm self-sufficient by just being me. It is very important. So I wish you the very best today. Don't forget, this is the week of praise giving. Look for an opportunity to be thankful. Look for an opportunity to be thankful. It curbs loneliness. Find someone to give a gift. Someone to give a gift this season. Find someone to be available for. Find someone to support. Find someone to help. Find someone to encourage. Find someone to be there for. Find someone to hug. Find someone to love. Find someone to share. Find someone to enjoy what you have. These are ways to create distractions that makes you feel self-fulfilled, self-joyful. You need to do that. Fantastic. Keaton says independence before interdependence. I love that. Fantastic. So guys, this is episode 253 of Diary of a Coach. It's a beautiful morning. I'm off for my day 2 of training. I'm training on strategic management with some very senior people. And my class starts soon. We'll see you tomorrow on episode 254. It's a beautiful day. This Friday is our guilt management class. I can't wait for this Friday. 8 p.m. is a webinar. If you want to partake, write I'm interested. Terms and conditions apply, and you'll be reached. Thank you guys. I need to run now. It's class time. Love you. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Don't forget, it's the week of praise giving. Look for something to be thankful for. Let's keep praising. Thank you.